Canelo the Cash Cow Alvarez has just inked a new deal with the PBC, a 3-fight deal, which is going to see him fight this September against who it seems like Charlo, somebody who hasn't fought in 2 years, somebody who reminds me of Rolly because he talked his way to this fight. He hasn't been active. Yes, he does have one belt at 160, but his last fight against Montiel, he didn't look too impressive. His face was all busted up, and it's been 4 years since he knocked somebody out. That was against Hogan in Barclays, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you, the name probably got him this fight also, and not because of him, because of his brother Jermell, who is undisputed at 154. I remember Jermell went up to Bivol, one press conference, and he was asking for this fight. It's like, Bivol fights at 175, you fight at 160, it's never gonna happen, and Bivol would just knock him out. A flurry of punches, I'm sure. At the end of the day, you have to look at it like this. Charlo has Texas, he has a big following there, and Canelo has a big following wherever he goes. So this is gonna be a good fight. I think Canelo gets the stoppage, of course, because if you're not active, you need to have a tune-up if you're gonna fight Canelo if you haven't been active. And if you're going straight for him, it's just not a smart decision. The second fight, I believe, is going to be with either Booboo Andrade or David Benavidez. Canelo, such an outstanding resume. He can pick and choose who he wants to fight now. This guy is about to get 60 wins. How is that possible? Such a great fighter. I think Booboo deserves the fight. Booboo came over just like Canelo from DAZN. Eddie Hearn told us, he's like, unfortunately, I can't get the fights for Booboo, and he's like, yeah, he's gonna go to PBC, and that's what he did. He already had a fight earlier in the year on the Tank undercard against Nicholson. He won that via decision, knocked him down a couple times, but I still think with him being 32-0, being the former WBO belt holder at 160, and just being a slick boxer, he's a lefty, and I think he could give Canelo some problems. Extremely slick boxer. And you remember 2 years ago, after Canelo broke the orbital bone, actually just smashed Billy Joe Saunders' eye. Is he coming back? He's acting like he is. I do not think he is. He did some talking on Twitter, on IG, about calling people out. I don't think he's going to do that. I think it was Berlanga he called out. And yeah, he had a shirt, and I'm talking about Booboo, he had a shirt saying, Canelo and Billy Joe are afraid to fight Booboo, and that's how you do it. Some people want to talk the talk, some people want to wear some shirts, whatever, but he's calling out Canelo. He called him out at the press conference also. Canelo like got him out, kicked out of the press conference. Security had to take him back because he's like, hey, when we fight it, you know, he wants to fight. He's been looking for it. They're both at PBC now, so it just makes too much sense for both of them to fight each other. Canelo came over because he couldn't get the rematch with Bivol via decision. Just such a good boxer. Canelo probably wasn't ready for that, and then again, he went up in weight. He fought him at 175, but Bivol, since he won, I agree, he should call the shots. And Bivol can't get all the belts at 175 because he would have to fight better BF, and that's two Russian guys going at it, and all these sanctioned bodies, there's just too much of them. Oh, they don't want a Russian to be undisputed, this and that. Let the guys fight. This is boxing. So he wants to fight Canelo at 168 because Canelo has all the belts. He's undisputed. And who wouldn't want to put their name in history? So I can't really wrong Bivol for wanting to fight Canelo at 168. But Canelo wants to fight him at the same weight class. So there's no excuses. So didn't happen. And guess what? On to the next. Canelo is with PBC, and same thing, Andrade has been wanting to fight Mr. Charlo, but seems like Charlo has the bigger name, more following, so he's gonna get to fight Canelo first. But I think the second guy is gonna be Booboo. He deserves that fight. There were talks about Canelo fighting Badu Jack, and it's no longer happening anymore. I'm so happy that that got washed But I also heard some whisperings about him fighting Spence, which makes zero sense to me because Spence is 147. He's been 147 for what, his entire career basically. And Canelo's fighting at 175, 168. And Canelo is the A side. He's not gonna do no catch weight at what, 160? No, he can't make that anymore. He's not gonna fight Spence at 154. I think Benavidez though, I think we saved the best for last. David, the Mexican monster Benavidez, will fight Canelo on the last fight on his deal. And I think it's going to be absolutely fireworks. We know Benavidez is a knockout artist. He's done great things in this sport at such a young age. Recently, he beat Caleb Plant. Great fight. He busted him up. Caleb Plant didn't look too good. But at the end of the day, they squashed that beef because previously, they were talking a whole bunch of smack, and Benavidez was reading off his phone during a press conference trying to talk smack to Plant. It was kind of embarrassing, but he got the win at the end of the day. We've seen him knock out David Lemieux. We've seen him knock out Ellis. We've seen him knock out Durrell. He's probably going to be the biggest challenge, I think, for Canelo, but Canelo's the one that did stop Caleb Plant, the only one to have stopped Caleb Plant. I think it's just a bad matchup for Benavidez. Benavidez throws a lot of combinations, but Canelo could counter. And Canelo can take and hit. And Canelo has power also. Again, it's going to be a firefight, but I think Canelo's just that much smarter, has that much more experience, has been in the deep waters before. Benavidez has never really been in the deep waters. Canelo's fought Triple G 3 times. He's fought Jacobs. He's got experience from fighting Floyd. He's beat Billy Joe Saunders. He has a lot of guys that he has sunned, that he has baptized. And Canelo Alvarez is just the best boxer, face of boxing still. I still think he's the face of boxing. Probably not pound for pound, number one. But you see 5 on the Forbes list. He just sells out crowds. He's speaking English now. Such a class act. Super humble. And Benavidez, these guys are like forcing it. They want the fight too bad. And yes, the fight's gonna come. And I think it's just gonna be too much for them. Canelo puts too much pressure on you. We've seen that in his last fight with Ryder. Yeah, he didn't knock him out, but he just put on a clinic. Ryder was a bloody mess. And that's what Canelo does to these guys. He breaks them down. I think Canelo Alvarez is going to take care of business, be 3-0 on this new deal. And who knows, maybe another year after this or another 2 years, and then he's going to call it a career, easily Hall of Fame career. By the end of it, I think he'll be the best Mexican fighter of all time. You know, it's your boy, Jayo. This is the boxing season.